All right. Here we are. Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Muy buenas tardes. Tengan hoy miércoles, on est mercredi le 28 avril. We are the 28th of April. And here we are for another episode of Alejandro Dance TV Wednesday, Intimate Wednesdays, ou le mercredi intime. Bienvenue encore une fois. On va attendre que les gens se connectent tranquillement. J'ai eu des petits problèmes techniques, donc c'est pour ça qu'on est un petit peu en retard. Tonight, we have a very, very, very special guest, someone that I really appreciate a lot. Je l'ai connu il y a quelques années en arrière, and it's somebody that a lot of people might already know, ou bien il y en a peut-être qui ne la connaissent pas directement, nécessairement. Puis, pourquoi? Parce qu'elle, elle fait partie de l'environnement de la danse latine, de la salsa. She's been part of it, I don't know, she's going to tell us for how many years, I'm not too sure, to be honest. But she's been in the environment for already a while, and she's very known. Il y en a qui la connaissent indirectement. Et pourquoi indirectement? Parce qu'elle a fait ce qu'on appelle, ou ce qu'on connaît maintenant comme le Canada Salsa Congress, Canada Salsa and Bachata Congress, qui a changé de nom aussi il y a quelques années. And but before getting a little further, let me just share the interview. On va juste partager l'entrevue. Je vous invite à faire de même également. Si vous pouvez me donner un petit coup de main. Hey, salut de Puerto Escondido. Matt, comment vas-tu, Matt? Oh my God. Mr. Matt, who's living in Mexico too right now. Ay, ay, ay. What am I doing here? No, no es cierto, no es cierto. I love Canada. Okay, so let me just share this to my wall just to make sure that, give me a second, that everybody can see it. Sorry for the little delay. Here it is. Share. Welcome everyone. Let's salsa. Why not? Let's salsa in Canada. Ok, here it is. Donc, pour ceux qui nous écoutent à partir de la page de École de danse Alejandro, from now on, all the interviews, we will be broadcasting them. On va les diffuser à partir de la page de l'École de danse Alejandro. Donc, si jamais on se perd un petit peu dans les réseaux sociaux, n'oubliez pas, just put a like on the page so you can have updates on what's coming for the Alejandro Dance TV and interviews as well. Salut Radi, comment vas-tu? Merci d'être là encore une fois. Je sais que tu es là toutes les semaines, pratiquement presque toutes, donc merci d'être là. ¿Qué pasó, mi Alex? Alexander Flores. Yes, okay, so without further ado, I am inviting to the actually, I am very privileged to have her because she accepted. Let's welcome, please. Let's give a big round of applause to Mademoiselle Jennifer Aucoin. Yes. Give me a second. Let me just bring her in. Right here. Here we go. Hola, Jenny, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, bien. ¿Y tú?
I see that you're all tanned.
I'm all tanned.
Oh, look at that. It's been a while. ¿Cómo has estado?
Everything is good.
Yeah? How's the weather right now over there?
The weather here in Mexico is very hot.
So where exactly in Mexico are you right now?
I'm in Tulum.
You're in Tulum. Okay,
Sí.
That's very nice. Okay, well, I already knew that, but not the people that are listening to us. So today, first of all, I want to thank you for accepting the invitation tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Please. You're one of the most, I guess, renowned people here in the industry of Latin dance, salsa and bachata here in Canada. So I would like you, please, to tell us more about you. Il y a peut-être des personnes. I'm going to be speaking in French a little bit, okay? If that's okay with you.
Je comprends.
Parce que je sais que tu parles français.
Oui.
Ouh! Tu sais quoi? Je t'ai jamais entendu parler français avec moi.
Je veux pas parler français. Like, I can't. I've been speaking a lot of Spanish. I can't do French and Spanish in the same day.
C'est parfait. You're really good. OK. So, dis-nous un peu plus par rapport à toi. Hila is there, by the way. Hila and Alexander Flores is there.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Hila.
So tell us more about yourself, Jenny. I had a few, of course, I had a few questions for you. And what has been your life and your career path? Tell us more about your career path. What do you choose to do? What are you doing? Who's Jennifer Aucoin? What is a day like Jennifer Aucoin?
Oh my God, that's a lot of questions. Okay. I've been dancing salsa for decades, for many, many, many years, for almost 30 years now. And I went to university and have a degree in urban planning and applied geography. But when I started university, I was salsa dancing, I was going out all the time, and I loved it. And after doing but I had always danced, I had danced ballet my whole life, I had done gymnastics my whole life, I had taught aerobics, I'd always taught dance and taught jazz and everything. So
is that where the flips come from?
Yeah, I was a gymnast. Yes, I'm a gymnastics coach. So when I worked in the corporate world, I only worked in the corporate world basically for 1 year after university, and I didn't particularly like it. I didn't like having to sit at a desk all day or having to, be constrained to working these hours. And I decided to go back to teaching because I had taught my whole, since I was a teenager, I had been teaching dance and aerobics and ballet. So I decided to start teaching salsa, and I quit my job and I started running a dance program at a community center and then teaching one salsa class a week. And over the next year, it grew to 9 classes a week. And then I just started teaching full time. It was never, I tell everybody, it was never a plan. It was never planned. It was just in the moment. I wanted to do something I loved. I didn't want to spend, half my life working in an office that I didn't enjoy. I needed to, feel passionate about what I was doing. Oh, I don't see you anymore.
I'm still there.
Okay.
I'm still there. I just want people to see more,
Okay. So I gave up my job, gave up the corporate life, and I just started teaching, and I never looked back. But it was not planned. It was just something I planned to do in that moment, because I loved it. I loved dancing. I loved teaching. And can you still hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I have AirPods on, so sometimes it like sounds like everything disappears. And then, I've told this story before, but I went to a salsa congress. So I was teaching salsa full time. I was, I had different classes throughout the week. And then I went to a salsa congress, my first salsa congress in 1999 in Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that's where I met all, so many of my mentors. I met David Melendez. I met Albert Torres. I met Nelson Flores. I met Eddie Torres. I met Joby Brava, the Vasquez brothers, like all these people. Yeah, it was like epic. The legends, Freddie Rios, Mike Ramos, everybody. So, and I saw that this was their career. And that changed it for me because up until that point, I thought, okay, I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing it for fun. I didn't really necessarily think it was something I could do for 20 years or 30 years. But watching them and watching Eddie Torres and seeing, it was his career, it was his life. So that was inspirational. And then I just kept going. I just kept growing.
When you say about, when you say about quand tu as commencé à donner tes cours, on parle de quelle année environ?
When I started teaching?
Si.
Oh my God.
That's like a while ago.
It's like.
Don't worry, we don't say it.
It's like the mid-90s. I started teaching in the mid-90s.
Oh
yes.
God. Hace mucho tiempo. En passant, pour ceux qui ne savent pas, Jennifer Aucoin, elle parle, c'est quoi, 4 langues? 3 langues? Non, c'est
ça. Non, 3.
3 langues. OK, elle parle 3 langues. Elle parle français, anglais, et maintenant, elle parle beaucoup plus espagnol, porque no sé si saben, pero Jennifer está viviendo en México. She's living in Mexico, in Tulum, and she's been there for a while. But before we get to that question, plusieurs d'entre nous, on connaît son nom, comme je l'avais mentionné, à cause de l'événement Canada Salsa Congress. Donc, c'est elle l'organisatrice, for those that didn't know. So, we would like to know more about that. How did you come up with the idea of the Canada Salsa Congress? Yeah, tell us.
It actually wasn't my idea. It was David Melendez.
Oh.
So for those who don't know David Melendez, he ran a dance school for children in the Bronx, in New York, the Heartbreak Boys, and he started the New York Salsa Congress. And I met him at that event in Washington in 1999. And I don't know, we became friends. He kind of became a mentor to me. And he just kept asking me, let's do an event in Toronto. Let's do an event in Canada. And I kept telling him no. And he asked for a couple of years and I kept saying no. And because I was so addicted to congresses, they were so much fun. And I was going to like 8 or 10 a year at that time. And I just loved them. But I also recognized how much work they were. I was already running salsa competitions in Toronto. And, just that was a huge amount of work. And so I just kept saying, no, I just want to go to them. I just want to have fun. I don't want the headache. And he just kept pushing and pushing. And every couple of months he would call and say, let's do it. And I would say, no, I'm not ready. And then I don't know what happened. Honestly, one day he just called and I said, yes. There was no.
What's the first year again?
2003.
2003. Oh my God.
Yeah. So he asked, I finally agreed to do one in Toronto. And he did that first one with me. And that was actually during SARS.
You were doing
funny enough. That was during SARS.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the SARS outbreak?
Yeah.
That was that year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it didn't affect anything at that time. So that was the first one. And I remember distinctly, I love congresses. I love that electricity. I love that energy. I love, you're surrounded by thousands of people who love what you love. There's just this energy in a hotel, in a ballroom, in a space where there's an event, where there's a salsa event happening. And I remember the very first night walking, I was busy after the shows and I was at the registration desk. And then I went into the ballroom maybe at like midnight or 12:30 on the Friday night. And I walked in and it was like I was at a Congress. It felt like a Congress. And I was just so overwhelmed because I just had never pictured that I could feel that in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. And what's the funnest or the most respected part about it? Let me just come back. Yeah. I guess it's also le fait que toi en tant que femme, okay, as a woman, nowadays it's more seen as an entrepreneur, right? To see a lot of entrepreneur women out there. But back then, how do you feel? What are the challenges that you faced back then, or if there is any? Probably you never faced any challenge at all, right? What can you tell us about
that? I don't know. I feel really bad because I've been asked this before, and I don't know if it's just my personality or if it's my mindset. No. I mean, I never really encountered a lot of issues with the fact that I was a woman. Mm-hmm. It didn't occur to me. Mm-hmm. I had already run events. I had already run competitions. And it never occurred to me, I don't know, that I couldn't as a woman. I don't know. And I do remember that there was I don't know. I can't remember the timeline. I don't know any other events. Oh, thanks, Jessica. I don't know. I know there's some events now that are run by women. At that time, I think I was one of the first women that had a Congress like completely on her own. I know there's, I think, one in Poland. I think the Warsaw one is run by a woman. I mean, there's definitely many that are run by women now. But back then, like 20 years ago, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't know the timeline, but I know I was one of the first. So that's pretty cool, but it never, I don't know. I knew a lot of dancers by then. I knew a lot of dancers in Canada. I had traveled for 4 years to congresses. I'd probably been to 30 or 40 congresses at that time. Mm-hmm. And so I knew a lot of dancers, and I felt like I had a good rapport with them. It wasn't like, you know, when I speak to Tito and Tamara, it's not like they're looking at me like, oh, you're a girl. They're looking at me like, oh, you're a dancer, you run an event. Mm-hmm. You know, it's different. Yeah.
It's actually, you know, because I have like the team that helps me ask these type of questions, and probably the one of the members, I don't know if you know her, Joanna. She's the one mm-hmm. who was asking me to ask that question.
Ask that question.
Parce que ça se peut qu'il y ait plusieurs femmes qui se trouvent dans ce problème-là, either because of uncertainty or because of real challenges, right? So, but I guess nowadays it's way easier if you want to see it like that, or it's a lot more seen. And you're, like you said, your personality is definitely very attaching. When I first met you, I remember. Actually, let's go back there. Well, you know what? I'm gonna wait for that question at the end.
Okay.
J'attends pour cette question-là, mais on va voir. Sinon, en attendant, so Alex says hi. Jessica, she's like, let me show her comment. She's like, oh my God, you're so pretty, que guapa.
Gracias, Jessica.
Hila, by the way, I love Hila. She's such
an
amazing.
Hila could run the world.
But she's such.
She helps me with everything. No. Hila does everything. Hila manages the dance studio. She helps me with the Congress. Hila could be the president of a country.
She's amazing. Seriously.
She's amazing. Don't take her.
Interaction with people, and she was talking to me like, oh my God, what, do we know
each
each other for a while?
Do you know that Hila is the studio manager at my studio at Steps, and when she first started working at Steps, she had never danced salsa or bachata. Oh, she really? Just applied for the job as a front desk. She knew nothing about the Latin dance community. And now it's like she's like going to congresses and cruises, and she knows more people than I do, I think. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so we're talking about the congresses. So peut-être aussi qu'il y a des questions que d'autres personnes qui sont plus dans du côté artistique, they also wonder what it is like to have a congress. Mm-hmm. Some of them, actually, I have some of my students that I see them virtually very often, and they never really had the chance to assist any congress, pretty much.
Wow.
Because it's been already a year something. I don't know.
Year and a half.
Lost count. Lost count. Entonces, so let's talk a little bit more about the ambiance of your congress, which, by the way, I love. Especially in the past years, there's something that you brought new into your congress. There's just tell us more about it. What is it to run an event like that? How many months in advance do you prepare? Well, I mean, right now it's been years. It's been there for years.
I prepare a year in advance. I work on it for a year, and usually starting like September. My event is in October. So starting in September, I'm already taking notes for the following year.
Wow.
I'm already like, okay, I have to remember to do this next year. I have to remember that I want to do this, or I want to change this or add this. So I'm thinking ahead. During the Congress, we're taking notes. All of the staff and volunteers that work at the event are taking notes of things that are working, things that aren't working. We have a post-Congress meeting, and then I start for the next year. And I can't hear you. Oh, there, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. And so in terms of, let's say, for example, just a question out of nowhere, what is the perfect artist for you? Like the perfect guest?
I think it's a great question.
To you.
So when I'm hiring somebody to be one of the artists at my event, I'm looking for somebody that has a great performance, is a wonderful teacher, is professional, is going, and by professional meaning is going to, not obviously as a professional dancer, but will act professionally in the sense of, responding to my emails, making sure they have the proper visas to travel, getting back to me when I need them to get back to me, because there's so many things that have to happen for me to confirm, flights and visas and hotels and workshops and all this information that I really need people who are going to be on the ball. And also people that are friendly, people that will social dance, that will mingle, that will be a part of the event and, enjoy the event and really become kind of part of the family.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important, right, as an organizer. And you did a really good job until today. I'm sure there's a lot of people. Je suis certain qu'il y a plein de gens qui te disent la même chose pratiquement à chaque année. You see, Jessica is asking, Jen, let me show the, okay, here it is. Jen, did anyone ever tell you that you were not going to be able to pull something like the Congress off? And if yes, how did you overcome that? That's a good question, eh?
No, that's a good question. Nobody ever told me I couldn't. Mm-hmm. No, nobody told me I couldn't. And I quickly learned as I was doing the first one that it came kind of naturally to me, in the sense that I loved it. I liked the planning of it. I liked the organizing of it. It came naturally, and I enjoyed it. And there was somebody, I will not name names, somebody that had attended the event as an artist, and when I decided not to bring them another year for just professional reasons and just for good reasons, I thought, and that I explained to them, they said that my event, that people wouldn't come.
Oh, really? Why? Because they weren't going to be there anymore. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
It was, yeah. And it wasn't, my event had already been happening for over 10 years at this point. So it was odd, but, that's one incident.
I was actually going to ask you about that question. If you ever had a bad experience, I guess that's one of them. And do you have like something similar besides that? Because I'm sure you have, for sure.
I think I've had very few. I think I've been very lucky. I think, before I hire somebody that I've never worked with before, I really make sure, I talk to people and I kind of investigate behind the scenes before I hire them, so that I kind of know what I'm up against. And I think I'm pretty upfront by saying, this is kind of what I need from you, and I need you to send me this information. And, I think by now I have a bit of a reputation of, it's very organized. The event is very organized. And so when people are new to my event and I've hired them, I think that reputation precedes me now. So they're like, oh, okay, I need to make sure, I respond to her emails. But what was the question again?
Yeah, if you had any other bad experience with any other artists like that?
I think more bad luck. I don't think anything was ever malicious. I've had situations where one couple just couldn't get their visa on time and told me very last minute. And had I known earlier, we maybe could have solved it, but they didn't I think they were afraid to tell me, or they maybe thought it was still going to happen. So then, that was a last minute cancellation. The last Congress, like 2 years ago, almost now, Karen and Ricardo, who'd been coming to my event for years, Ricardo got really, really sick. He was in the hospital with food poisoning. He couldn't fly. So Karen had to come on her own.
Wow.
So there's always
something.
Every year, there's always something that's happening behind the scenes that you guys don't see. I'm always dealing with these. And every year I think, okay, that's this year is going to be so smooth. Everything is thought of in advance, but it doesn't matter, because there's always something that will happen. I remember a few years ago when there was all those crazy hurricanes and Puerto Rico was decimated. Mm-hmm. And, they had no power, nothing. There was no flights out of Puerto Rico. It happened a couple of weeks before my event. And Tito was calling me whenever he was in a place in Puerto Rico that had Wi-Fi, because most of the Wi-Fi towers were down. He had no electricity in his home. And so he would message me and say, I think we're going to get on a plane. I think there's going to be planes in a couple of days. And we literally didn't know until the day they arrived in Toronto if they could even get on a plane.
Wow. But they ended up
I remember they ended up coming, and I remember him texting me like early in the morning from Puerto Rico saying, we're at the airport and we're about to board. We think we're going to get on. Mm-hmm. And there was no flights. I think it was like the one flight out of Puerto Rico. Everything else was humanitarian flights only.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So there's always crazy things.
Je pense que c'est important aussi de le mentionner aux gens qui nous regardent, because very often people from the outside perspective, they think it's a very easy thing to do. We just you can click your fingers and then everything just appears. But there's a lot of work behind that, and it's very important to have respect on that. And I myself have a lot of respect on that. I know that sometimes it takes me a little while to answer your emails, but we try our best here. We try our best, and So now I know we know that you're now in Mexico. Et je voulais savoir, moi ça c'est moi personnellement, premièrement, pourquoi le Mexique? Okay. Deuxièmement, pourquoi partir? What is the exact reason of you leaving? And what do you miss the most about Canada? So it's like 3 questions in one.
Okay, so first of all, I'm here temporarily.
Okay.
Okay, so why Mexico? Because a couple of years ago, I just came to Tulum. I needed a break. I decided to come to Tulum, and I loved it. I loved the vibe. I started learning how to kite surf, and so I got addicted to kite surfing, and so I kept coming back every few months to practice kite surfing. To be by the beach. It's an easy flight. It's close. The same time zone or like 1 hour difference. It's just an easy, close place to travel. I love the Mexican culture. I love the food. I love the people. And I met a lot of friends here, and yes, of course. I met a lot of friends here, and I don't know, I started coming so often, and Tulum is a very small place. So, you kind of get to know people easily. You kind of get to see the same people. And a lot of people who visit Tulum come back. It's a place where people tend to come back. Like today I was with friends that are from Chicago, and I think I've seen them now in Tulum 4 times in the past year and a half, 2 years, because they keep coming to visit, and it happens to be the time I'm here. So that's why Mexico. I love it. I love Mexico. I think it's a beautiful country. I think it's the people are so kind. Everything. I love Mexico. And why leave? So I actually was in Tulum on vacation in November. So I happened to come here for vacation, and 5 days after I arrived, Toronto went into lockdown. And
you mean November 2020?
Yeah. No. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, this past
yeah.
November.
Yeah. Okay.
So Toronto went into lockdown, and I just thought, I'm not doing it again. Like, I was in the first lockdown. I live alone. I didn't want to. I remember the last lockdown saying to myself, actually, I should start by saying I was in Tulum March 15th, 2020.
Oh,
so when the whole world shut down, I was
hit.
in Tulum.
Yeah.
That's when it hit. I was in Tulum on vacation, and day by day, I was here for 2 weeks, and day by day, it just kept getting like, the first there was nobody talking about it, and then all of a sudden people were talking about it, and then all of a sudden everybody was just freaking out. And I literally left Tulum on March 15th to go back to Toronto. And I didn't know when I could come back. I didn't know when I would see my friends again. I didn't know when I would be able to see the ocean again. And I went home, and I was in lockdown, and I was by myself, and, for months. And I was seeing my friends in Tulum going surfing. you know, they weren't really supposed to go to the beach, but they were like leaving super early in the morning and bike riding to the beach and going surfing and kite surfing. And I thought, okay, next time there's a lockdown, I'm going to be in Tulum, not in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So it just so happened, it was just kind of a coincidence. I was in Tulum in November. Toronto went into lockdown. I decided to stay. My studio is closed, so we're online. So I'm teaching from here. I have my laptop. I do all my work from here. I manage the studio. I manage all my work from here. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm here temporarily until Canada reopens, and then I was going to go home for Christmas, but my father is in a retirement home, and my sister called me and said, you know, you're not going to be able to see him. They're not going to allow us to see him. They're not going to allow him to leave. She said, if you're coming home for that, like, it's not worth it because you won't be able to see him. Mm-hmm. So I decided to stay. And then in January, Canada closed the border between Mexico and Canada. They canceled all flights. Mm-hmm. So I've just stayed. I've just stayed. You know, I'll be back. I'm going back at some point, but I don't want to go back to lockdown because my life right now in Tulum is very free. Mm. We have freedom here.
So Raddy's like, you're so inspiring. I guess in general, not only because of the whole Congress subject, but it's also le fait que tu es là-bas, puis tu es en train de faire de la gestion sur ton studio en tant que tel. J'imagine comment c'est pas facile, c'est quelque chose de nouveau aussi pour toi. It's something new for you as well. But at the same time, you have a great team. I don't know that, yes. But I know that you have a great team behind you.
Great team. And, you know, luckily, Angelo is my business partner in the studio, and he's still in Toronto, and he's been holding down the fort and checking in on the studio. Gila's there. Yes. Yeah. Gila's there, and Trina and Megan and all the teachers. So we have a really amazing, you know, we call it our steps family, a really, really amazing group of people. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I don't think I could have survived the second lockdown by myself in the winter.
Yeah, of course.
For 6 months. It's really hard, you know. A lot of people have, you know, they have their families, their kids, you know, but to be alone through all of that, no. My friends here will hug me, you know. We can dance here, I can teach here.
So how is it over there? Like, tell us more, like, just a little bit about that. Parce que moi, je connais des gens qui comme mettons Matt, en passant, Matt nous a dit allô tout à l'heure. Je ne sais pas s'il est encore en ligne, mais Matt, il nous a dit allô, puis lui, il est là-bas, il m'envoie des vidéos parfois. Je ne sais pas s'il en met sur son wall, mais je vois que les gens, ils dansent. Je sais qu'il y a des gens qui ont des masques et tout ça. But how is it life over there? I mean, I want to hear more about that.
It depends on different parts of Mexico. So different parts of Mexico are in different colors, you know, green, yellow, orange. But life is different here. I think culturally, you know, they're with their families all the time. They're not going to not see their parents. Mm-hmm. They're going to see their parents.
Mm-hmm, of course, especially in Mexico.
Yeah, people are going to hug their friends. They're not going to not hug their friends. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the good thing about where I am is it's a small town. It's, you know, Mexicans and a lot of expats that are now here from Argentina, from Italy, from Germany, from Canada, from the US. But pretty much everyone has to get a test before they get on a plane now. And then they come here, and everything we do is outdoors. So it's a tropical place. It's a tropical climate. The restaurants are outdoors. Wow. The bars are outdoors. There's live music on the beach. You know, I ride my bike. Live music. There's live music every day. Every day you can hear live music. But it's all outdoors. So it's not like you're stuck inside, you know, a bar. You know, you're not indoors, like at least not in Tulum. Everything is outside. Everything is open air, or at least 3 walls are open. And so, you know, there's people wear masks there's people who wear masks. You know, obviously the staff, when they're working in a restaurant, they have to wear a mask, which I feel really bad because it's hot. And here you wear a mask when you go into a grocery store, you wear a mask if you're on a bus or if you're in a taxi. But when you're on the beach, you don't have to wear a mask. You know, if you're bike riding, you don't have to wear a mask. So because everything is outdoors, you're not wearing a mask very often. Mm-hmm. And the culture here is much more, you know, we're just going to hug our friends because life has to go on. I think they have a bit of the mentality that, you know, the people here have to work. Their government is not helping them. And so if they want to feed their families, they have to work. And so the tourism industry is open and they're taking precautions.
Yeah, that's a very important point, right? Because and there's other countries that don't have that help, right? So it kind of makes them, they have no choice. They don't have a choice.
They have no choice.
And
they have
life
no
has
choice.
to continue. Mm-hmm.
Life has to continue. And, you know, they take precautions. Like when you walk into a hotel or a store, they take your temperature. Like it just doesn't feel as restrictive because you're allowed to dance. You're allowed to have a dance class or go take a yoga class or do Pilates. Like everything's open. Everything's open.
But I don't know. I just hope that whenever you're gonna come by, you're gonna bring some sun, or probably, you know, who knows? I'm just like, je m'échappe vite. J'allais te voir danser un petit peu because I miss those socials again. Actually, there has been some socials here in Quebec, outdoors, and
That's allowed.
It's not allowed, but they actually did it. They did one at Place des Arts and at Verdun. Yeah, they did it, and it was actually one of my students that sent me the video. I didn't go, and cops came and they just decided to let them be. They were wearing masks, people, and that's it.
Wow.
So qui sait, right? I guess it gives us some faith and some espoir, un peu d'espoir pour les gens qui veulent commencer à danser aussi.
Yeah, if they want to dance, come to Mexico.
Yeah. So before going into the conclusion of this beautiful interview, what is out of all this, and I know we're talking about the whole situation, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned from this? I mean, what have you
that I think a few things. I think one, that we don't need as many things as we thought we needed. You know, I basically came to Mexico with a carry-on, and I've been here 5 months. Mm-hmm. We don't need as many things. We don't need as many, you know, we need a lot less to make us happy than we probably thought. Mm. That we really can't, you know, you can plan all you want, and, you know, I'm an event planner. You can plan all you want, and shit happens. It's you know, it's like, I think I'm much more go with the flow right now than I was before, because it's been so long now that we can't really plan far in advance. But you're like, okay,
so relaxed. Now you're gonna be more relaxed.
Oh yeah, but now it's like, who knows? You know, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yes.
Like it just feels it's unsettling, but it's also just kind of surrendering to it. And I think also, as much as I realized it before, how much I love to dance and how beautiful our community is.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, I think our community is, you know, one of the hardest hit out of everything. It's, you know, not only dance, I mean, dance in particular has been hit one of the hardest, you know, gyms and dance, but also our dance, because it's with a partner, because it's holding hands, because it's dancing with different people in one night.
And it's very social. There's
very
salsa
social
clubs all over the world.
Yeah, it becomes your lifestyle. It becomes your community. It becomes your family.
Yeah.
And you know, we have so many people that we know in our salsa community that are just really struggling, you know, with, you know, depression, and just it's like they've been cut off from their oxygen. You know, because dance was what really made them feel good. So I think this, as much as I always loved it, and as I think I always appreciated it, this took it to another level for sure. Yeah.
It's true what you're saying, because it's something that I mean, not because we're in that community, but honestly, we socialize so much. It's not only about socializing, but we're in contact. We touch them, you know,
Yeah.
and the connection that we have through music and when you're dancing with someone. J'ai pas vu ça dans un autre type d'environnement. You could think
No.
about anything. I mean, probably like I mean, say doctors, you know, who treat patients and so on. But just it's a different vibe. And yeah, we've been hit. Well, I myself, I'm very. Je considère beaucoup les gens qui ont été touchés mentalement,
Yeah.
psychologiquement en fait, par rapport à tout ça, parce que je sais que c'est pas facile. I
No.
try us like you as an entrepreneur and as a teacher, because of the fact that you've been going through so much. I guess also I don't know if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Something like this, you kind of have a solution out of that, right? You kind of find a solution out of this as well. I don't know what can you say about this?
Well, part of my solution was just spending the lockdown in Mexico.
In Mexico, that's it.
That's part of my solution. I think it's to remember, somebody said this to me, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, that dance has been part of humanity since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to fight for it.
Yeah.
You know, dance will survive because dance is part of how we express ourselves as humans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never going to go away. And so we need to but we need to stand up for it. We need to, you know, remind people that it's important and remind people that connection, you know, I think back to our studio, you know, January 2020, I would probably hug, I don't know, 40 or 50 people a day, you know, each night. Like I don't hug every student, but students come in, students go, I hug the other teachers, I hug the staff. Yes, we hug when we see each other at a congress, of course. But I would hug some of the students. And I remember, like, you know, when COVID first started, like just being at home for weeks and like no hugs at all. It's shocking. It's shocking to your system. Like we need that.
Of course.
We physically need that.
But anyways, in Mexico, you have a lot of that for sure.
I get hugs.
I know.
Everybody hugs. Everybody hugs. We're all allowed to hug here.
Moi, j'ai dit là qu'on organise quelque chose, puis on s'en va tous au Mexique. We're going to go see Jennifer Aucoin. I would do the Canada Salsa.
I'm working on it.
Mexico. Yeah.
I'm working on it.
C'est ce que je vous ai dit. You see, she always has a solution for everything. So
yeah.
I was sure something like that was going on, but I'm sure you're going to be letting us know about that in the future, in the near future. Before that, Nancy Saint-Laurent, she's like, t'as pas besoin d'une femme de ménage, je suis prête pour Tulum. You know, femme de she's ready for Tulum. By the way, Nancy Saint-Laurent, c'est une personne, just a little small bracket. She's someone that's actually helping me out here for the Triple G movement. Pour ceux qui ne savent pas, le concept des entrevues, c'est le Triple G movement, Go, Glow, and Grow. It has to do with everything that's for your well-being, physical activity, devenir écologique, également porter des souliers écologiques. And then what she does, basically, she has it's a company that, this is new in Canada, by the way. Sorry, I don't know if you know about this, Jenny, but it's a plant actually that is that works with LED lights, and it's a plant. Sorry, it's a metal tour. That's it. That has many plants in it, and you don't need to have your garden outside. The garden is in the tour itself. Alors, Nancy, merci pour ton aide.
Cool.
You'll be hearing more about that. Je vais poster quelque chose là-dessus cette semaine, probably tomorrow, because she's giving away some nice, beautiful gifts for those people that are interested. So, merci Nancy pour ça. Aussi, Sylvie Leduc qui dit, it's hard for everybody, going back to what we're talking about. It's hard for everybody, but she's lucky that she can do it online. Great for her. Okay, I guess she's talking about the classes. Yes. Hila, oh my God, elle lâche pas, eh? Hey, look at Hila. She's like, look at that. She's like, you still haven't told us about the first time you two met. Hey, you really
Are you?
look at that. Eh? She's like on the spot. All right. Dance is the best therapy, Ratty says. Dance is the best
Yes,
therapy. Look at
it's true.
Eric. Eric, Katie, look at that. He's like,
Oh, Eric, I can't wait to hug you too.
how
My
you
God,
doing,
this is like
Eric?
it's crazy. I feel like, when when you go to congresses and you see your Salsa family, I see Eric and Kelly probably like 5, 6 times a year. And I
Yes.
haven't seen them in person in, almost a
Since
year and
then?
a half now,
Oh,
since
wow.
January 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
By the way,
I
the
keep
Congress
inviting
is,
them to Mexico.
they're doing a virtual Congress soon
They're doing a
in
virtual,
May.
they're doing a virtual competition. I think it's
See,
May or June.
the 29th of May, I believe. I know that I have
Okay.
up until there to send
Yeah.
some videos pour ceux qui sont intéressés, en
Yeah.
passant les danseurs qui nous regardent. Tony Nguyen, I missed the Congress and eating the hot dogs at 4 a.m. Yeah.
Yes.
The popular hot dogs
Yes.
next to the hotel.
Toronto. Yes.
What was I going to say? Yeah, by the way, we had a raffle last week. So for those who like to participate, s'il y en a qui veulent participer, we have about 5 minutes or so. Vous pouvez, la seule affaire que vous avez à faire, vous ne faites que mettre un commentaire, an interesting comment or an interesting question, like intriguing question, something, quelque chose que vous voulez demander à Jennifer par rapport à sa vie personnelle ou peu importe. And then I already know that we had, what was your name? It was Andrea. Yes, Andrea Cafaro, who said, by the way, beautiful Mexico. Yeah, beautiful Mexico. I wish I was there. Andrea Cafaro, who was in the raffle. And there was also Rajan. Rajan, yes, you're also in the raffle. Last time that you were asking these intriguing and very personal questions. So don't hesitate. You can still ask us something personal. But let's get personal with Jen.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so this is the intimate question. You can answer it in any way you want to answer it. And we are at the same time, we're going back to Hila. So how do we meet, you and I? Do you remember?
So, okay, you reminded me of this today because I remember this moment, but I didn't realize it's how we met. Because I remember you being a part of Chilital. Maybe, were you part of San Tropez at one point?
No.
No?
Chilita.
Okay, Chilital. And I mean, I remember always social dancing with you, like at Metropolis in Montreal. But
Yeah.
I don't know, but okay, but we did, or you think the first time we met is in LA. And at the time,
Officially.
I was dating somebody with the same name as you. And when we checked into the hotel, they gave us our room key and they, whatever they said, room 502. And we used the room key. We walked in and we were in your room. You were there. And we're like, this is our room. And you're like, no, this is my room. So
But
that's
actually,
how
it
we
was the
officially
opposite.
met.
It was the
You
opposite.
walked into my room.
I walked into your room.
Right, you walked into
Yes.
my room. Yes. Oh my God. And I'm like, what are you doing in my room?
But it was like that was the best, honestly. When I opened the door, okay, I'm sorry.
I forgot it was my room. Okay, sorry.
She's
So
like,
that's
I
how we
cannot believe
officially
this.
met.
She's like,
Yeah.
Hila is like, I cannot believe this story. Yes, it did happen. I swear.
Oh my gosh.
Moi,
Yeah,
j'étais,
that's how we met.
moi, j'étais avec Chilita. Je me rappelle, on était en bas. We were downstairs and I had the room under my name, and I was with my girlfriend back then, and then yeah, we had some problems with the booking, but for some reason, anyways, they just gave us the key. Like we go, okay, let's go, open the door.
There's people there.
Hello. yeah, because the guy's name was Carlos Martinez. As
Yes.
well. That's it. I don't
Yes.
know. Was it Carlos Alejandro as well? No.
No, I don't think his middle name was Alejandro,
Yeah.
but it was Carlos Martinez. Yeah.
Carlos Martinez. Oh my God. Quel adon, eh? Like what a coincidence.
Crazy.
Yeah. So good memories or no? Yeah, very good memories actually.
Very good memories.
Yes. Yeah, always good memories. So okay, so Rajan puis c'était Andrea. You know what? Let's do something. I'm gonna give you both a T-shirt. That's it. As easy as that. Yes. So on va se parler anyways tout à l'heure. Jenny, really, thank you so much for spending this beautiful time. I wish I could do it in front of you. I wish we could have
I
some
know.
Corona.
We could dance.
Yeah. Do you drink? No, you don't drink.
Not really.
You don't really
Not
drink,
much.
eh? Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. You
No.
you told me that once when I was at the Congress. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Hard
I
to
wish
drink and dance.
it's hard
It's
to
hard
drink
for
and
me to
dance.
drink and dance. Yeah, like to spin. No.
Yeah.
Tough.
Well, I wouldn't make you spin if ever.
Right. Make sure I don't fall.
Hey, who knows? Maybe one day someone's gonna open the door in Tulum of your room, and then it's gonna be me.
No.
No.
No, the name
just
is no
say-
longer working.
Yeah, that's it. No, but she drinks with us, Eric. Look at Eric. Ah, you see? So you
I
actually
do.
drink.
I do drink with Eric and Kelly.
Oh.
Eric and Kelly are very bad influences on me. Yes.
She's trying
This
to
is
she's trying to
true,
be
Eric.
professional here. You see? No, I
Yes.
never drink. I never drink.
No, it's not that I never drink. I don't drink often, and I'm a cheap drunk. I get drunk on one drink, but I do
Yeah.
drink with Eric and Kelly. Yes.
Well,
Say
I
he's
hope
correct.
we get a chance to drink all together sometime soon.
Very soon.
Jenny,
Yeah.
thank you so much once again. I hope to see you here in Canada. You're not in Tulum, and I hope you give us some news also, as well as for your Congress, right? Probably.
Yeah, we're the hotel for the Canada Salsa Congress this October. The hotel has kindly given us until the end of June to decide. So, but it's not looking good.
Okay.
Toronto is still in lockdown. So, but there will definitely be a virtual competition, a virtual event if there's no in-person event for October. But we're trying. We're going to see if we can do something, but definitely virtual if we can't do in person, or it'll be hybrid. And yeah, stay tuned there might be some more information coming later about maybe another event happening
Yeah.
where it's allowed. So we'll see.
Okay. Well,
More
let us
info
know.
coming
Anyways, for
soon.
sure, tu sais qu'on va être là pour t'appuyer, puis pour participer à tes événements, même si c'est de façon virtuelle. So I'm sending you a huge kiss and a huge hug
Thank you.
virtually. Thank you so much again. And,
Thank you for
say hi
having
to
me.
all my Mexican friends over there.
I will. Did you know them all?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well,
No, thank you so
merci
much
à
for
tous ceux
having
qui
me.
nous ont, yes. Thank you to all who followed us. I don't know if you want to finish with a nice little note before we just hang up.
Just that I can't wait to see everybody. Can't wait to dance with everybody again, and to keep dancing, whether it's online, in your kitchen, in your backyard, in a park. Just keep dancing. Don't stop dancing.
So keep dancing, guys, and keep doing some salsa and some bachata. Okay?
Sí.
Muchas gracias. Nos estamos viendo pronto. Cuídense.
Gracias. Nos vemos.
Chayito. Bye bye.
Gracias.
Ciao,
Ciao.
Eric. Talk soon, Eric.